Welcome, fellow freaks, geeks, and nostalgic peeps, to my channel, Slime and Slashers, where, yeah, we talk about everything from Nickelodeon slime to horror movie slashers, but plenty of stuff in between, including books. Today, I'll be telling you guys all about my 2024 reading goals and some other general goals as well. So stay tuned and stay right where you are. We'll go to this very, very short intro, and when we come back, we'll dig into the goals. Welcome back, guys! It's time to talk about my goals! Like, you know, like a soccer goal? Anyway. It sounded kind of like Tarzan, but, just imagine that it was great. A great call. Like a soccer call. Anyway, when they score a goal. But, yes, we are here to talk about reading goals for next year, for 2024. At the time of filming, I am filming this in December of 2023, I have been reflecting on this whole past year, and I've been thinking, what can I do better in 2024? And that is what I'm going to talk about with you today. My list, it isn't super long because I did go back and watch my 2023 goals video from the end of 2022, and I accomplished some of the stuff. I love my list making. That was something that I still am happy that I have already done in preparation for 2024. When it comes to 24 books to read in 2024, I have made 2 of those lists for books I want to get to. One is paperback from hell related, and one is just random other books. So 2 24 and 2024 lists, and I will link those videos below. They're already out right now, so look in the description if you missed them because they're linked there. I'm happy I did that. However, on the other side of the coin, I feel like in my goals video for 2023, I was just planning ahead. I had so many specific vlog ideas and specific things that I didn't get to that I'm trying to keep it minimal so that the same thing doesn't happen and I don't go back and I don't say, hey, I didn't get to freaking anything. So instead of reacting that way, I'm going to keep it minimal and I'm going to emphasize a few of the goals. So although there are less goals to talk about, I am very serious about the goals that are laid out here, and I really want to actually accomplish this list of goals. Alright, the first, and this is the most important to me, and I've got to do everything in my freaking power to make this happen because I am so excited. I have actually contacted some authors and they have agreed to give me a list of their favorite books, and I will be reading like them and also reading like some of my favorite booktubers as well. So this is a series that I will be starting in 2024. I haven't finalized the name yet. I was thinking Copycat, reading like my favorite booktubers and authors. Copycat, because you know, like I'm copying you, I'm a copycat. That's where that comes from. So instead of copying your answers like a copycat would do, or copying whatever you're saying or doing, I would be copying, you know, you in terms of your reading taste. I will be reading your favorite books or books that you've loved in the hopes that I would love them too. So this series I am beyond ecstatic about because, like I said, I reached out to some authors specifically, and they agreed to give me a list of their favorites, and so I will be reading like a few specific favorite authors of mine, and here are the authors, dun, 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 here's the reveal. The first author that got back to me, and that I'm extra stoked about, is Mark Morris. Mark Morris, if you didn't know, he is an underrated freaking amazing author. People should be shouting from the rooftops about his books, but I understand it's kind of hard to find his vintage work. However, he is releasing new books. In fact, in 2024, he is releasing a new book, and I'm so excited and pumped for it, and I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be great. I have faith that I'm going to love it because I've loved the other 2 books by him that I've read, and also I'm in the middle of a 3rd book right now, so I'm enjoying that too. So yep, he gave me a list of his favorite books, and it's a very long list, and let's just say that I have enough to do more than one vlog just on Mark Morris and reading like Mark Morris. The second author is David Sodegren, and I also asked for a list of favorite movies, and It's extra exciting. I gotta say, I'm in love with the lists, the favorites list that all these authors gave me, and there are books that I've been wanting to get to on all their lists that I haven't yet gotten to, so this is like a perfect opportunity to knock off stuff that's on my TBR anyway, and in some cases read books that I never would have read before, because there are a few books on all of these authors' lists that I had never even heard of before, but my eyes have been opened to some new books, and I'm really intrigued and excited, and I think this is going to be a great project. So David Sodergren is the second one. And the last one, dun, 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 Ivy Tholen. I love Ivy Tholen. I have touted her book Tastes Like Candy, and so I'm excited to read some of her favorites. I just think it's a very, very awesome concept. Lots of people have videos like this, so I'm sorry if you've seen this concept before. I've seen it with favorite booktubers. I've just never seen it very often with reading like my favorite author, and actually to where the person contacts the author and gets like a personal list from them. And in addition to reading their favorites, I'll also be reading a book by them that I have not yet read in the same vlog. There's a lot to look forward to. And another author that I'm eventually going to do, I don't know if it'll be in 2024, but he's also a booktuber, so he's a perfect, like, bridge. He's a booktuber and an author, so it fits perfectly with the concept of reading, like, authors and booktubers, because he's both in one. And that is Cameron Chaney. So that one's going to be extra, extra fun, because Cameron and I have very similar tastes, and we also have very similar video styles, so I think that's kind of extra perfect. But don't forget, this project will also consist of me reading like my favorite booktubers, and I do have a few booktubers picked out, and I actually have the list of books that I'm going to read for them picked out, but I do have a future list of booktubers without things picked out that I want to freaking get to, and I'll shout them out as well. But the people that I have picked out with the books and all are Amy from Amy Noel Reads, Kitty from Spicy Cats Reads, Crystal from the channel Fiber Artsy, Alex, the Bookubus, and Leon at Paperback Mania. So I'm so excited about all of these. And the ones I would love to do in the future, but I don't have like concrete book plans for yet, are Lauren from Happy Haunts Library, Kelly from Kelly Hooked on Books, Kat from Kat's Novel Adventures, Christine from Secrets Read, Elizabeth from Elizabeth Sagewood, and there's so many more. I kind of just recently read Like Andrew, and I have plans with my friend Lexi about something else to do with her reading taste, so people like that aren't included because I might have just read books suggested by them, etc., etc. All the people I said are people I haven't really read their recommendations before, so I really got to get to it at some point, and it would totally work with this project. This project is my #1 goal for 2024. It really has to happen because, like I said, I have cemented plans with some of these authors specifically, so I do not want to have this fall by the wayside. I think it's a really cool concept, and I am stoked and excited and jazzed for the fruition of this. My next goal is to do a little bit more mood reading, to try to not stick to a theme for an entire month like I sometimes do. Like in 2023, I only read slashers in June, and in September, I basically read carnival and circus books with some weird books at the end of the month. But I would like to kind of condense my thematic reading to maybe like a week of the month for some of these readathon events that I personally host on my Patreon and stuff. Instead of reading just slashers for the whole month, I just want to read slashers maybe here and there mixed with other books that still meet the prompts. If I'm doing the readathon, I have usually very general prompts. So I'm sure whatever I pick out, even mood reading wise, would fit the prompts. I just don't want to just read slashers for a whole month again in 2024, because again, that can burn you out really, really fast. I want some more wiggle room to just add things in randomly, or to pick up things on my 24 in 2024, or whatever. Maybe do one of my vlog projects in the middle of the month, like one of my Copycat project vlogs in the middle of the month. I want to be able to do that stuff, and I can only do that by having more wiggle room to mood read. Another goal, I would like to go to the library more, and I think that goes along with more mood reading, because the reason I did not actually physically go to the library very often is because I always had my TBR full of predetermined books. There was no room for me to just go and browse books at the library and just find random things that I'm like, oh, this looks good, or let me read this month. You know, usually I was just so overbooked, no pun intended, whatevs, that I could not do that. So I'm hoping to be able to do that at least a time or two in 2024. Fingers crossed, hopefully that can happen. Also, this is not reading related specifically, but it kind of is. It's reading adjacent. So I would like to keep up with my reading journal. And really, I don't use a journal. I actually use a binder. And by the time you guys are seeing this, I actually did a flip through of my 2023 binder. It's almost a complete flip through, but I don't really have it completed as of the time I filmed it. So I'm going to do a finished one for my Patreon, but I basically gave you a pretty good tour of the journal. It's pretty complete. So anyway, I do this binder and I want to keep up with it more consistently next year. This year I had to do huge catch-up sessions when it came to, you know, writing down the books that I read for like months at a time. I would have to write them down all at once. So that took a lot of time, and I'd rather just keep up with it monthly. Like dedicate a night towards the end of the month, or 2 nights throughout the month, like one in the middle of the month, one at the end of the month, where I catch up on the binder and I update everything, you know? Random goal is to maybe start a KU/Kindle owned jar. I saw this on Kitty's channel, just to mention her again, Spicy Cats Reads. Check out her channel, she is fantastic. All the people I mentioned so far, and that I will probably mention for the rest of this video, are all awesome. So please check them out. Everyone I mention will be linked below. Everybody who has a channel. Please. Take my advice. Subscribe to these people. I mention them for a reason. I tout them for a reason. And Kitty has this cool jar, and I want to start using one for my game. And I probably will tweak my TBR game a little bit more going into the new year. So that's also a goal, is to continue tweaking the game so it really works for me and I could play it more often. In fact, that's jumping ahead, but one of my other goals is to actually play my game more consistently. If you guys didn't know, I made a Uno-themed TBR game. Recently, for the month of December, I did get back to play my game, and I made some changes and some additions to the game, so I want to make a few more tweaks. But yeah, I'll link the video where I talk about the creation of my game below, but I'll also link my December TBR video where I do go over some of the changes. But again, there'll be some more changes, and I'll go over it in a future TBR video when I actually play the game again. Next up, use my spinner wheel. I bought a physical spinner wheel recently. I'm addicted, I love it, but I don't want this to fall by the wayside, and I don't want to end up regretting this purchase and never using it. Luckily, I've already used it quite a few times, even this month, the month I'm filming this in December, and also before this month. But I want to continue using it, and I want to use it for a lot of things in 2024, so to remember to use this is a huge goal, and it's a doable goal, honestly. There should be no reason why I don't actually use this. Next goal, read more romance. I have a goal of at least 15 romance books. I think I read like 10 romance-related books this year, which is crazy for me. So I think I could easily do 15. So we'll see, but that is my goal. Even if I get to 10, I'd be happy. So 10's the minimal goal, but it would be great to up it a little bit and do 15. I think I am kind of a fan of certain romances. I started dipping my toe into the romance waters at the end of 2022 with a specific reading vlog I did. Then I got more into it this past November in 2023, and I read quite a few romance books and loved them. Loved a lot of them, not every single one, but the majority of them. I will include my wrap up if you want to hear me talk about a lot of those romance books below. But yes, I want to continue this trend, especially when it gets towards the end of the year. I feel like that's when I'm in the mood for romance. I really specifically like Christmassy romance. It's corny, it's cheesy a lot of times. I don't care, it's a lot of fun. And it's great when you can listen to a romance audiobook and clean. I have discovered I love that. Romance books are perfect for that because you don't have to pay too close attention to the characters. It's usually just 2 main characters and maybe some, you know, behind the scenes background characters, but otherwise it's very easy to follow when you're doing other things, but still listening to the book on audiobook. Another book goal, I would love to somehow be able to read a total of at least 50 paperbacks from hell. I already have a list out, as I mentioned earlier in this video, a 24 to read in 2024 that is paperback from hell related. It's already out, my list of 24. So if I read all of those, there's 24 down already. Also, I am doing a year of Richard Laymon. Richard Laymon is a vintage horror author. I am reading a book of his every single month of the year. It is a public read-along, by the way. Anybody can join in. The deets and the video announcement for that is linked below if you're interested, but he is a divisive author, just FYI, be warned. But yeah, if you add the 24 plus the 12, we already are getting up there. I already read in 2023 40 something paperbacks from hell. I'm very close, like 4 or 5 away from getting to 50. If I up my vintage reading just a little bit throughout all of next year, I think I can make 50 total, including the 24 or my 2024 list, including the Richard Laymon 12 books, and including whatever I might throw in randomly. I just think I can do it. I'm hoping I can do it. We'll see. 50 is the goal. Of course, if I get to 40 something, I'll be happy, but 50 is the goal. Another numbered goal, but again, I'm not gonna live and die by the numbers, but it'll be a good thing to aim for. So I'm hoping to read at least 25 non-horror books. Can I count the 15 romance books into that 25? Yes. So the 15 romance, if I get to that number, then 10 additional books. There's my 25 non-horror. But this year, in 2023, the year I'm filming this, I was able to read some Star Trek The Next Generation books, some random graphic novels that were not horror related, so I know I can read non-horror. In fact, I'm already up to 26 non-horror books read in 2023. Can I make it 25 in 2024? I think so. I already surpassed that for this year, so I think I can do 25 next year. Alright, and something that I've definitely slacked on the last year and a half, I would like to read at least one Goosebumps book or Fear Street book or Point Horror book every month of the year. Now, I don't have to read all 3 every month of the year. Just pick one of those 3 books and read it every month of the year. So one month I might do a Goosebumps for January. Then in February, read a Fear Street. Then the next month, you read a freaking Point Horror book, and then you keep, changing it up, going on and on throughout the whole year. That should be doable, especially freaking Goosebumps, they're short as hell, but I'd like to fit in some Fear Street and Point Horror as well. So that, I think, should be doable. That's just 12 extra books into the whole year's total, and a lot of them are short and manageable, so I really think that is quite doable for me. Alright, we're wrapping up the goals. I just have a few more things that are author related that I'd like to go over. Some authors that I would love to read for the first time, and some authors that I'd love to read more books from. So here we go. I'd love to read more from Mark Morris. I've already said this, so this is kind of preaching to the choir. I am repeating myself, but I don't care, bitch. I will shout his name from the rooftops because nobody else is, but they should be. They should be. So anyway, I'm going to read more from Mark Morris. I also want to read more by my favorite author of all time, Robert McCammon. He's not part of the Copycat series because a lot of his favorite books, by the way, are lengthy as hell historical fiction books. And I'm like, bitch, I can't do it. I'm scared. So I'd rather just read Robert McCammon versus read like Robert McCammon in that I would read his favorite books. Maybe another time. Maybe when I'm more brave than I currently am feeling now. So that could be something in the future. But as of now, just to give you a heads up, Robert McCammon is not a part of the Copycat reading vlog series. No way. Just from researching a little bit of the types of books that he shouts out. I'd also like to read more by Lisa Tuttle. I have read 2 books by Lisa Tuttle, A Nest of Nightmares and Familiar Spirit. Loved both. Adored both, honestly. More than loved. I would put it a step above love. I really like her writing style, and I've really got to get to more by her. Another author who's a part of my Copycat series, David Sodergren. I have read quite a few of his books, but there's still a lot of room for improvement because he's got a decent backlist of books that I have not dug into. And he's very prolific. He writes quite a lot, so I can definitely get to more David Sodergren, and I think that is a good, admirable goal to have. And I'm excited he's part of my Copycat reading project. Next up, a romance author. I'd love to read more by Sarah Hagel. She is still the author of my favorite romance book. Even though I've read more romance since first reading the book that I consider my favorite, which is Just Like Magic, I would really love to read more by her because I have not read any other book by her besides the one that I consider my favorite all-time romance so far. I haven't read a lot, to be honest, but that's Just Like Magic, so I want to read more books by her, and I think that'll be a fun time. And finally, 2 authors I'd love to read for the very first time in 2024 are Rachel Harrison and Elizabeth Ingram. I think those will be easy to complete. I have plans already. They're a part of my 24 and 2024. One's a part of the vintage list, one's a part of the frickin' other list. So yeah, I have plans to read books by them. It's gonna happen. I can easily accomplish this. So here is my very short list of goals. I think they're all quite manageable, quite doable. I think I can accomplish this list. Now, I might not get to some of the numbers and that's okay. The whole point is, you know, some people don't like goals because it makes them feel really bad when they don't achieve the goals. However, I look at it a different way. I think, you know what, at least I tried, at least it's something to aim for, and I'm proud of the progress that I was able to accomplish throughout the year. And that is how I look at it. I think it's like kind of like a guiding light when you go into the new year, like what should I pick up, what should I do? It helps you. It's like a little roadmap. Tell me where to go, tell me what to read, tell me what to do. I don't know, this is not like driving, but it was like flying. I was like, tell me what to do, tell me what to boom, boom, boom. It sounded like a song. Anyway, what is wrong with me? I'm ready for the new year. I'm going bonkers. Alright guys, that is it for me. What are some of your goals for 2024? Do you have any similar goals to mine? Let me know in the comments below. I love hearing from you guys. If you have any suggestions for content ideas that you'd love to see from me in 2024, let me know that down below as well. But for this time, guys, that is it for me. Thank you so much for watching my videos. You guys know how much it truly means to me. Till next time, though, you guys know what you can do. Keep on killing it. That was really a squeak. Keep on killing it. Bye, guys.